Today I fucked up by popping a pimple in my ear. Obligatory, this happened a month ago. I couldn't have possibly know what a mistake I had made in the moment. It was Tuesday and I was going about my business when I noticed a very small soreness on the inside, but not in the canal, of my left ear. I went to touch it and noticed a bump, very obviously a pimple. I'm a bit of a popaholic, so I spent a solid 5 minutes trying to squeeze whatever it was out. Eventually I got something out of there, and the area was still a little sore, much like a normal pimple. No problem. It was Wednesday, and I noticed that the pimple pain hadn't passed. I went to touch it again, idiot, stop, and noticed there was still something in there. I played with it some more and got something else out, and the bump felt like it was properly gone. I was pleased with myself. It was Thursday, and I woke up with a mild earache. Okay, that's a little weird. The pain seems to be radiating more than it should. Adults don't get ear infections, right? Also, it's not like I actually went in my ear, so I couldn't have infected the inside of my ear. I go about my day. By the evening, the pain is getting pretty bad. Like, 400 milligrams of Advil's worth bad. This is definitely an ear infection, and I can't focus on anything at all. I make an online over the phone doctor's appointment. Going to sleep wasn't great. I had to sleep on my right ear. It was Friday morning and I had my phone call with the doctor. I told him I had an ear infection, so he prescribed me ear drops. The pain is pretty horrible now, so I run to the pharmacy immediately. Turns out the doctor's Wi-Fi is down, so the pharmacy never got the prescription. I call another doctor and beg for something, anything to make this pain stop. She prescribed amoxicillin. I go back to the pharmacy and both prescriptions are now available. I started with the ear drops, as instructed by the pharmacist. It didn't seem to help with the pain at all, so I took a T3. By Friday night I'm taking 2 Ts every 5 hours. It's Saturday morning and some very intense pain woke me up, and it's in both ears now. It was 6 AM, and I just burst into tears from how much it hurt. Also, I couldn't hear. I immediately took 2 Ts and my partner looked in my ears. The left ear had sealed itself shut at this point from the swelling and the right ear was right behind it. He took me to the ER. Lucky for me, there's a pandemic going on, and I live on an island, so the hospitals are empty. 45 minutes later I had instructions from the doctor to start taking amoxicillin, and he gave me a few more Ts for the pain. Fast forward to Saturday night. Things take a turn for the worst as both ears swell completely shut. I'm super high from all the T3, the pain is 10 times worse, and I've got what feels like a fever. My partner takes me back to the ER. They took one look at my crying, overheated, swollen, and just miserable existence, and they admit me within 3 minutes. Now, my hearing is actually perfectly fine under the swelling, but my ears are sealed shut. This means my own voice is super loud, but everything else is very quiet. I'm finding myself whispering to everyone that they seriously need to speak up for me to hear them, and these poor nurses and doctors and phlebotomists, working at like midnight, were probably confused. They gave me some antibiotics in and 4 hours later prescribed me some new oral antibiotics and a bunch of Ts for the pain. I seriously hate the codeine high, but they tried giving me a stronger narcotic while I was in the ER and it didn't cut the pain at all. For the next 4 or 5 days, the pain continued and I kept taking T3 as instructed. Eventually the antibiotics did their work and the infection cleared up in both ears. But of course, my semester was effectively destroyed by the crucial week I missed. Best part is it turns out there was still a blackhead or something in my ear after this whole ordeal. I sanitized the shit out of my hands and fingernails and ear, and got that son of a bitch out. Safety first, folks. Too long didn't read. I popped a pimple in my ear and managed to give myself an absolutely brutal infection in both ears. Spent the week 90% deaf and 120% high, and probably screwed up my GPA. Missing 1 week ruins your whole semester? That seems more fucked up than the ear infection. Plenty of scuff waiting in today's college experience. I took a few engineering courses that were 90% weighed on 3 exams. 1 missed week and a professor that doesn't care can definitely tube a semester. 90% deaf for 120% high seems like a good exchange rate though. What's a T3? Tylenol with codeine number 3, 300 mg of acetaminophen and 30 mg of codeine. As someone who lives with a condition called hidradenitis suppurativa, I can always say if it doesn't have a head, don't pop it. I've stayed a week in a hospital for one on my waist that popped inside my body, and then 4 days later I'm in the ER. If you have a deep cyst, look for something called Pred. It will help bring abscesses to the top of the skin if you keep repeating putting it on. Then take the skin and spread it apart like tearing paper gently. Squeezing can make things worse a lot of the time. May, all that and you still popped another one? I'd lecture you about that, but I feel like it'd just go in one ear and out the other. Today I fucked up by shitting my shorts while on a hike with my friend. Let's just say today's been a shitty day. I went on a 5-mile hike with my friend. It was a gorgeous day and we decided to take advantage of the good weather by getting some steps in after brunch. Little did I know, this brunch would come back to haunt me hours later. I'm a 30-year-old guy and she's a 29-year-old physician's assistant. About halfway back, my stomach started hurting, like real bad. It's a semi-crowded trail, so when no one else was around, I let out a small fart. Not that embarrassing, since I've been close friends with her for over 10 years and her boyfriend farts around her all the time. After that, we started to pick up the pace. It was actually at the point where I couldn't run because of the stomach pain, and I was afraid some of it would slip through the cracks, if you know what I mean. When we got back to the parking lot, I thought I was saved. There was a community center and I decided to make a run for it, hoping for the best, while my friend went to the car to wait for me to use the restroom. Honestly, the rest was a horrifying blur. The doors of the community center were locked, assuming it was closed due to COVID. My stomach was in agonizing pain. I was definitely prairie dogging, as they call it, something I never experienced as a mature, responsible adult. Until that exact moment. A bunch of people were in the parking lot, talking or walking towards the trail. I looked for a bush, but none were tall enough to cover me while I did the dirty deed. Suddenly, I felt it. The first wave has arrived. Bittersweet at first, honestly. A fleeting moment of relief for my stomach pain. But now my favorite underwear was ruined forever. This was about to be a full-blown crisis. Either I take a shit in my shorts in front of the 5 to 7 people walking around the parking lot, or I literally pull my pants down and shit in the garden in front of said 5 to 7 innocent bystanders. There were children around. As I had a mini panic attack, I saw a 6-foot gate leading into an enclosed maintenance area. Then, boom, the second wave hits. My body went into a full fight or flight response. I didn't care who was looking. I waddled over to that gate, leaving droppings on the sidewalk by accident, and scaled that gate like I knew how to parkour. Before I knew it, my body was emptying itself, luckily, on an old tarp that I hope they weren't using. The smell was making me sick and my shoes and shorts were annihilated. I reluctantly called my friend to bring me some antibacterial wipes I had in the car. She didn't believe me at first, but after pleading, and honestly, just wanting to end myself, she walked over to the gate with my saviors in hand. The baby wipes. She threw them over and headed back to the car, taking note to avoid my accidental droppings by the gate door. I used the entire bag of wipes to clean myself. I decided my underwear, my socks, and my shoes were beyond saving, so I threw them away. Threw away the tarp. My shorts were salvageable, kinda, and I threw open the gate and made a run for it. As I ran past my pile of sidewalk shit, a couple was walking by staring at me. Presumably because I was wearing no shoes or socks and I probably smelled like death. As I approached my car, my friend was staring at me. I was so embarrassed and just wanted to go home and try to drink this entire memory away. She said, "I think you should change your mask." As I threw away my stained mask, it dawned on me, the couple that saw me fleeing the scene actually saw me running past my sidewalk shit, with shit all over my mask, smelling like shit, and with no shoes on. If hell exists, I'm pretty sure it's a reality where people shit their pants and have to clean themselves up, and then try to escape the scene, only to be caught in the act by other people. Lucky for me, my close friend and I laughed about it during our shit-smelling ride home. She said she's a PA and she's dealt with people's shit before. I think I need to move to another state. And also probably see a doctor about my stomach issues. Too long didn't read. I shit my shorts while trying to find a bathroom after a hike, had to discard my soiled shoes and some clothing. Was caught by a couple walking by, and on top of it, one of my closest friends witnessed the entire ordeal. Oh my god, I have a similarly shitty hiking experience. I could hardly stand by the time we got to the popular destination. On private property, there are groups of passing hikers every few minutes. I ended up having to literally hang from a large bush off the steep mountainside, and I'm holding on for dear life and I'm raining down hellfire on the smaller shrubs covering the near vertical fucking cliff below me. I slipped on my way back up to the trail and was so close to eating shit and tumbling into shit-coated bushes and into the canyon. What a way to go that would've been. When I was in the Navy, our ship pulled into Italy, and a buddy of mine we called Pops signed up for a mountain hike. We met up with the group, it was mostly Italians and other Europeans, hiked up the mountain, and had lunch at a nice little restaurant at the top. On the way back down, me and Pops got a good ways ahead of the group. Pops suddenly stops and tells me he's really got to take a shit. He'd go in the woods, but there's nothing to wipe with. So I tell him to just use his underwear. It's a good idea. So he wanders off into the trees and does his business while I keep watch, in case the group catches up with us. Everything goes as planned, and we finish the hike. We get back to the boat and tell our friends of the adventure, and Pops gets a new nickname, Bear, because bears shit in the woods. Love a good pants shitting story. Haha, it's literally been a shitty day, bud. Literally, I need to get my shit together. Today I fucked up pretending to be my roommate's ex. FYI, my roommate was planning to share this story from his perspective but thought it was more entertaining coming from me. This happened just over 2 weeks ago on Halloween night. Even though my roommate and I didn't go anywhere on Halloween, we still dressed up anyway. My roommate's costume was basically just an apron, boxers and socks. Not very imaginative, I know. In my roommate's defense though, he was going through a bad breakup and wasn't really in the mood for too much silliness. However, as the saying goes, one man's heartbreak is another man's Halloween costume. For some reason my roommate still had some of his ex-girlfriend's clothes in his closet, which I, the constant clown, ended up trying on. For the record, the items of clothing were short, heart-shaped pajama pants and an extremely tight camisole top. I was skinny enough to squeeze into them without too much effort, and the fact that I still had Tarzan long hair, partly due to lockdown, mostly due to style, made my hideous transformation even more hilarious. So, there I was, dressed as the evil ex, but with zero boobs, zero curves and zero sex appeal. My roommate and I laughed our asses off before proceeding to get drunk and passing out. The end. Or so I thought. Cut to me waking up to my roommate struggling to pick me up off the couch. He already had one arm under my neck and another arm under my legs like a human forklift. All the lights in the living room were off at the time, but the TV was still on. My roommate's back was towards the TV when I opened my eyes, and from my POV, he looked less human and more like an ominous shadow figure. Not gonna lie, I was still far from sober at that moment. My roommate, on the other hand, was practically on another fucking planet. Drunk me panicked and pushed the shadow figure in protest. My roommate stumbled, got upset, and started yelling at me in Afrikaans, his home language, which I didn't understand. Although, to a degree, I did understand his body language. He constantly referred to me by his ex's name every time he tried to touch me. His whole attitude rollercoastered from bitch WTF to baby I'm so sorry. The moment he got on his knees and put his hand on my thigh, I got the fuck up and frantically switched on the lights. My roommate stood up and stared at me in silence. For the sake of full disclosure, I said out loud, "It's me, dude." My roommate's reaction was eerie as fuck. His eyes grew really big but the rest of his face stayed completely calm. Without saying anything, he awkwardly zombie walked to his room. I was too hammered to register what had happened, but I damn sure knew I had to get out of my costume and lock my room before going to bed that night. TL, Doctor dressed up as my roommate's ex-girlfriend on Halloween and inadvertently tricked my drunk roommate into thinking I was the real deal.